3 players have departed. The trick is always buy when you're strong. So he needs to buy players. You can't win anything with kids.
How good is Donny Van De Beek, and would he be a good signing for Manchester United or for Real Madrid? In this video I will first be analysing the type of player Donny Van De Beek is, looking at his strengths and weaknesses before discussing how he would fit into Manchester United, what this would mean for their system and whether they should go ahead with the signing, whilst also talking about whether he'd be a good Paul Pogba alternative for Real Madrid to sign, so keep watching till the end of the video for that. Donny Van De Beek is Ajax's 23-year-old attacking midfielder who burst onto the European football scene after he was a part of Ajax's surprise run to the Champions League semi-finals back in 2019. With his contract up in 2022, it's no surprise that he's been touted around Europe, linked with clubs like Real Madrid and Manchester United, as selling Van De Beek would make financial sense for Ajax and he'd probably command a fee of between 35 and 40 million pounds. But what sort of player is Van De Beek, and is he just another player overrated by the hype around a successful side? Well, Van De Beek can best be described as a multifunctional central midfielder, as he's able to play as an advanced midfielder in a midfield 3, moving ahead of play and looking to receive the ball between the lines, or as a second striker in behind a main centre forward, looking to make runs off their deeper movement. Erik ten Hag used Van De Beek ahead of a double pivot of De Jong and Schöne as a point from where Ajax looked to progress the ball forward. He is positionally intelligent, knowing how to position himself so that a ball can be played through to him, so that he can receive the ball in behind the opposition's midfield, and when he receives the ball his body positioning is second to none, able to efficiently take the ball under control and execute a pass to move the attack forward, which is a simple enough skill but one that is crucial for the function of the entire system. He is also able to make the correct movement when around the box, whether that be arriving late on the edge of the box for a cutback or making a run ahead of the forward line to receive a through ball. An example of this can be seen against Tottenham in the first leg of the Champions League final back in 2019. Here we can see Van De Beek holding his position on the opposite side of the field to where Ziyech has the ball. A lot of other players would have been attracted to the ball and made a run into a congested area. Van De Beek's reading of the game and positional awareness enables him to recognise that if he simply holds his position in this area, he's incredibly hard to pick up, as Tagliafico, positioning himself high and wide on the same side, draws the right back away from Van De Beek. As the ball is switched over to the left, Van De Beek finds himself in a centre forward position with Tadic just to the right of him. His top level off the ball movement is most evident here. Many attacking midfielders would have either held their position, which would have congested the space around the box, or made a move deep but done so too early and therefore not coordinated with the movement of Tadic behind them. Van De Beek makes a movement at the perfect time, dragging Alderweireld with him and opening up the space in behind for Tadic. When Tagliafico plays a ball into Van De Beek, he instinctively knows where Tadic is, dummies a ball and makes a run around Alderweireld, from where Tadic is able to find him and put him into a goal scoring position. It's this type of off the ball movement, intelligence and positional awareness that most creative attacking midfielders like Bruno Fernandes or James Maddison don't have at the same level, and I would go as far to put Van De Beek on the same level as Thomas Müller, who is the best in the world at this sort of skill in my opinion. Rather than being the player focused on playing the through ball for the penetrating run, Van De Beek is instead the one who is actually making that run. He isn't a playmaker in the same way that an Ozil or a Mata can best be described. He isn't going to be playing defence splitting passes, instead he's going to be the player playing quick passes round the corner and opening up defences with his movement and short wall passes, which works exceptionally well alongside other players who have good ball control and first time passes. I'll also be doing this sort of video for Kai Havertz and analysing the type of player he is and whether he'd be a good signing for Manchester United or Chelsea, so subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that. Van De Beek has completed 1.9 key passes per 90 minutes, which is the 30th most in the Eredivisie, showing that he doesn't possess the same chance creating ability as someone like Hakim Ziyech, who has recorded 4.3 key passes per 90. But as I specified, Van De Beek isn't this sort of player and would work best alongside a playmaker, like Ziyech is at Ajax, as this lifts the burden of creativity from Van De Beek and allows him to play off this instead. Van De Beek is also a very good pressing midfielder, having made 2.1 tackles per 90 this season, as well as 0.9 interceptions per 90, showing that he'd be perfect for a high pressing system. So how would Van De Beek fit in if he were signed by Solskjaer at Manchester United? Well, I could only see Van De Beek being signed if Paul Pogba were to leave, as I don't see where Pogba, Fernandes and Van De Beek fit into the same side unless it was to improve United's squad depth, which seems like a luxury considering the amount of strengthening United's squad needs at the moment. I also think that the signing of Van De Beek would have to correlate with a system change from Solskjaer, as in the 4-2-3-1 that is Solskjaer's favourite system, both Fernandes and Van De Beek would operate in the same position, which is as a most advanced midfielder in front of the midfield double pivot. Neither are at their best playing in those deeper central midfield roles, so it would be an odd move for United to sign another advanced central midfielder rather than a creative deep line midfielder like Ruben Neves or Eric Pogba. The best system to switch to would be a 4-3-3, with Fernandes and Van De Beek playing as false eights like Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne do in Pep Guardiola's 4-3-3 shape at City. In this role, Van De Beek would be tasked with moving ahead of the opposition midfield and looking to pick up the ball in the half spaces, which is one of his best attributes. His interplay around the box would also be well suited to this role, as you could see him thriving when playing short quick passes with Fernandes, Martial and Rashford, as well as making runs ahead of play. Van De Beek would offer United movement ahead of the centre forward Martial, which would help them break down sides sitting in compact defensive units, as Van De Beek has the ability to make intelligent short runs ahead of the ball to get into goal scoring positions. An example of this is against Valencia in the Champions League this season. Here Van De Beek is positioned incredibly high up the pitch alongside the centre forward Tadic when the ball is in the attacking third. When the ball is played into Tadic's feet, Van De Beek recognises where the space is for a chance to be created, which is why rather than backing off, he instead makes a run across Tadic away from his centre back, and when Tadic is able to play a reverse pass, Van De Beek's run has broken the back line and he now has a one-on-one opportunity from where he scores. However, if United were to bring in Van De Beek, I think they would also have to bring in a better defensive minded midfielder than Fred. Whilst Fred is a very accomplished box to box or ball winning midfielder when playing in a midfield double pivot, he doesn't have the same capabilities when playing as a single pivot in behind two more creative midfielders, as in this role the player needs to be good at moving across to cover the space, jockeying players and not getting dribble past, whilst also having the ability to position themselves in order to cut off the passing lanes into advanced opposition players. Whilst Fred is a great pressing midfielder, I don't think he has the reading of the game or one-on-one defending ability in central areas to fulfill this role in the system. Someone like Ndidi would be perfect for this role, but he would cost a lot, probably more than 60 million. Jefferson Lerma or Marcos Llorente could also be good options to be brought in to play behind Bruno Fernandes and Van De Beek. Whilst United have been the team most talked about in regards to Van De Beek leaving Ajax, Real Madrid have also been mentioned. Van De Beek would actually fit in better at Madrid than he would at United in my opinion. This because Zidane already uses a three-man midfield in a 4-3-3 shape, and unlike United, Real already have an anchor man capable of performing the defensive actions I described before in Casemiro and a deep line creator in Toni Kroos. Therefore, to complete the midfield, Real should be looking to bring in an advanced midfielder who can make dynamic runs further up the pitch and link with the forward line, which is why they've been targeting Paul Pogba. Van De Beek doesn't have the same chance creating or dribbling ability that Pogba possesses, but he would work incredibly well in tandem with Benzema, Hazard and Odegaard. Benzema is one of the best at opening up space in front of him through his movement deep from the forward line, allowing midfielders to make runs ahead of the front line and penetrate the opposition's back line. Van De Beek's quick interplay and off the ball movement would see him excel in a box-to-box midfield role, given a licence to get further up the pitch than Kroos on the other side in the midfield three. Van De Beek could be a good option for Madrid as he brings this movement and goal scoring threat that the playmaking types of Isco and James Rodriguez don't have, and alongside Benzema, Van De Beek could find the perfect role for his style of play. So how would I rate Van De Beek? Well, I'd give Van De Beek a 7.1 for current ability, putting him in the Champions League class bracket and just below the likes of James Maddison and Bruno Fernandes in terms of current ability, even though he is a different type of advanced central midfielder to those two. I think he can be one of those players who, while not seemingly doing a great amount in terms of creating chances, scoring and dribbling in the way that a Pogba does, he can be one of those extremely efficient players who, while not looking like an exceptional footballer, is incredibly effective at what he does in the same way that Thomas Müller has been over the past decade, which is why I'd give him a world-class potential ability rating of 8.2. But should Manchester United or Real Madrid sign Van De Beek this summer? I don't think United should sign him, as they should look for a deep line midfielder, as Bruno Fernandes is a much better advanced midfielder than he is when tasked with creating from deep, as he can make the same sort of off the ball runs ahead of play that Van De Beek would also bring. Also, United have so many other positions in need of strengthening, it seems like signing another advanced midfielder would be counterproductive when they should be looking for a deep line central midfielder, a right winger, a left back and a centre back ahead of a player like Van De Beek. If you want to know who I would sign for United, check out my Who Manchester United Should Sign series after this video. The full playlist will be linked in the description below. I think Madrid should look to bring in Van de Beek if a move for Pogba doesn't materialise, as I think he'd fit Benzema and the Madrid system perfectly. Thank you for watching. Remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel and check out some of my other videos linked in the description below.
Let's do what we came to do. Who shot your homeboy? A nigga with a diaper on. Got on the city, girls beating, got a cipher on. Yeah. Your girl said she dickin' with the baby right or wrong. Just gave me a head in the rental car while the lights was on. You know me, I be chillin' and coolin'. Know I'm the shit with the music. Since you in love with computers, go look my name up on Google and please don't turn to no groupie. Other niggas be goofy, might as well get some popcorn. We finna make this a movie. Somewhere laid up with a stallion, letting them haters hate. Eating jumbo shrimp with the steak off of a paper plate. Ballin' on them like Michael Jordan back in '88. Got my dick sucked before my flight, it almost made me late. I'm in a different bracket than rappers, these niggas can't relate. Don't make me get to slapping these rappers, give them a change of face. Made so many racks up for trappers, say I was slanging weight. Put the weed down and start eating, they say I'm gaining weight.